so thanks for essentially sitting and watching some of my DVDs with me. That was fun. Now that all that's out of the way, I'm sure you can see the huge distance in quality between the source material and Netflix's abomination of an adaptation. If Netflix didn't change what was perfectly good character introductions and developments, they skipped them altogether. Luffy wasn't as stupid/thoughtless, Zoro wasn't as tough, Sanji wasn't as ridiculous, and Nami didn't present with the green-eyed greed demon that lives inside her to contrast with her emotional breakdown. On top of that, the majority of Garth and Kobe's involvement was fiction, Buggy was a cheap Joker knockoff, Arlong wasn't a small-minded fish supremacist, and Mihawk made us piss our pants laughing instead of soiling them due to fear. As stated, some of these decisions allowed actors to stick around for longer, nudging other characters from Oda's mind out of the way for the sake of Hollywood pets, activists, and race/sex swappings. This left holes in the apparent plot that Netflix came up with, forcing them to put all three of their creative brain cells together and fill in the blanks with more slop that didn't come from Oda's mind or his pages. Maybe if Netflix had taken more time on this project, instead of riding the casual wave of the 8-episode season cop-out that they've helped normalise in the last decade, maybe then they'd have some time to let their plots and characters play out. I mean, there's no excuse really. As well as manga essentially being a storyboard to work from, I'm pretty sure that no other live-action creative appropriation project has had access to that much source material before, yet Netflix dropped trout and left this on the floor. Great job. I'm quite unsure where the gaslighting came from, to be honest. Maybe someone at Netflix told these writers that they were talented, or maybe they just stood in a circle and congratulated each other, in a matter of speaking. Either way, they believed that they were good enough to try and fix something that wasn't broken, and they should be shamed for it. You know, stocks, pillories, rotten vegetables, the works. Yes, I'm aware that the anime is generally quicker paced than manga, which is certainly true with One Piece, but the difference in pacing and content with these two media is minuscule in comparison to the bland betrayal of a beloved intellectual property. Despite being the best, well, the least of the worst, bunch of bad Netflix remakes, reboots and recyclings, it should still be aggressively shunned, mocked and generally laughed at. For your reference, the 8th episode of the cosplay effort took us up to the end of the 5th story arc, which is the 44th anime episode, which is the 95th manga chapter. Fingers crossed that you enjoyed it enough to go and check out the manga and or the anime. Finally, before anybody asks, no, I won't be covering the imminent second season of this trip to the buffet table of creative impotence. Sure, I might mention it on Twitter/X or perhaps on podcasts like the Dr. Huge Show, but I won't be giving it the same digital dissertation treatment witnessed here. So, with that in mind, thanks for stopping by and listening to what I had to say. Remember, we don't have to accept any of these talentless hacks butchering our favourite franchises. Nobody is entitled to a quick boost in their careers in exchange for the characters and stories we love.